Here we go with Sundry Sports for Thursday, June 11th. We begin with Cowboys Wire from USA Today. Shh. Oh, shh, puppy. Shh. Okay. Shush. Randy Gregory's path back to Cowboys still unpaved and rocky, but can be traveled. Suspended for more games than he's appeared in, Randy Gregory is still currently waiting to get the second act of his career underway. The league has changed their stance on weed, and now the rest is on Randy. 94 days left until the regular season. Randy Gregory's rocky road, running back sleeper for 53-man roster. Get SportsWire. Follow your favorite teams and discover the biggest stories first. Download the app from the App Store and Google Play. Dontari Poe. Strong like ball, quick like lightning. Yes, we read about that yesterday. Coaches know best. The top 25 college football teams ranked by the coaches. Check the rankings from Amway and USA Today. Amway Coaches Poll and USA Today. Richard Sherman calls out Jerry Jones. Des Bryant defends Cowboys owner. In a week where so many, from celebrities to CEOs, have come forward with formal statements and calls for change regarding racial inequality and social justice, Jerry Jones has remained silent, and good. It would put me off. It would really put me off if he said anything. SiriusXM, listen at home, 4 months for free. More headlines. Stashed away in year one, Cowboys defensive end Yelks could emerge in 2020. Yes. Read that one. Well, we read the headline, we didn't. There's the straw hat. Mike McCarthy's Cowboys' chances. Super Bowl winning coach performances and new jobs. NFL redraft means 7 foundational Cowboys. Which club has best OT combo? Shh. Tristan Hill's bad rap may be a bit premature. We actually did read that one. Okie dokie. Moving on. ESPN Daily. Good morning. Yeah, regular drafts are cool, but have you ever seen a dog steal the show when its owner is selected in a virtual draft? 14 of 10 would pet. Here's your ESPN Daily. Okay, I guess that happened. Listen up. Fight Island is for real. I guess now would be a decent time for me to formally apologize to UFC President Dana White for all of the parallels I drew between his rumored Fight Island and Ja Rule's Fire Festival. As it turns out, Fight Island is the real deal. Ever since the concept was brought up as a creative live event solution during the global coronavirus panic, people, including myself, have had questions. Where is this mysterious island? How will the fights work? Where will the fighters stay? Is it going to be safe to host fights there? This week, White shed some light on the logistics and location. It's Yas Island in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Of the much-talked-about Fight Island, he also announced the details of UFC 251 and 3 UFC Fight Night events scheduled for July. On today's episode of the ESPN Daily Podcast, Ariel Helwani... Excuse me. Ariel Helwani explains how it's going to work and why it's worth it. Plus, he'll discuss how UFC got back up and running so much faster than other sporting events, and what fighters will face with its return. Then, Ryan McGee talks about the significance of NASCAR's Confederate flag ban. Ugh. Things to care about. How boxing came back in a bubble. While we're on the subject of live sporting events being held in isolated/controlled environments amid the coronavirus panic, we should talk about how Top Rank Boxing made its triumphant return this week. Tonight's fight card headlined by Jesse Magdaleno versus Yenifil Vicente. Starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. The return of boxing to the United States took months of planning and lots of creativity. The study of more than 20 protocols, from sports leagues to movie studios to large corporations, led to the creation of a 20-page, five-pronged plan, which Top Rank delivered to the Nevada State Athletic Commission to make Tuesday's fight card headlined by Shakur Stevenson versus Felix Caraballo happen in Las Vegas. The five-pronged approach included establishing an internal task force, reviewing and identifying potential exposure risks, establishing a method of emergency communication, creating the safest possible environment to protect everyone, and executing the plan. This week has been all about the last item on the list, executing the plan. Reggie Bush's 10-year timeout is over. USC fans rejoice. Reggie Bush is back in the fold. After a 10-year disassociation from one of the greatest college football players of all time as part of a landmark NCAA punishment, USC has officially welcomed the Heisman Trophy winner back to Troy. Now, if the Heisman Trophy Trust would go ahead and return Bush's trophy, and the school would go ahead and retire his number 5 jersey, it would feel like a satisfactory ending to an unfortunate saga. Sending Bush away from the program resonated. He caused the program considerable harm, but USC's decision to send Bush's Heisman back to the Trust serves as one of the examples in which the university, in an attempt to scrub its reputation clean, accepted penalties and doubled down on them. This from a school that still displays the Heisman won by O.J. Simpson. Oh. That's not meant as shade, just an observation. Okay, fine, maybe a little shade. In 39 games over 3 seasons as a Trojan, Bush rushed for 3,169 yards and 25 touchdowns and added 1,301 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns. Wow. He admittedly messed up in taking lavish gifts from 2 sports marketers, but what he accomplished on the field deserves recognition. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's it? Accepting gifts? Not actually, killing anybody? That's messed up. Remember the names. Who is Spencer Torkelson? He's a guy you're going to want to familiarize yourself with if you haven't already. The Detroit Tigers had the number 1 pick in the MLB draft and wisely grabbed the Arizona State slugger on Wednesday. Torkelson belted 54 home runs and 127 career games at ASU and was only 4 home runs shy of the Sun Devils' school record when the 2020 season was cut short. Well, that sucks. Next up in the draft were the Baltimore Orioles, who took another big college bat in Heston Kjerstad. While I could continue to regale you with tales of every selection from round 1, it's probably in both of our best interests if I instead direct you to our 2020 MLB Draft Tracker and experts' analysis of each pick. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that you can catch rounds 2 through 5 starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time tonight on ESPN2. Happy drafting to all. We scrolled Twitter so you don't have to. Bubba Wallace, the only full-time black driver in NASCAR, will run a special paint scheme to honor Black Lives Matter for Wednesday night's race at Martinsville Speedway. LeBron, Richard Sherman, and Jamal Adams took notice. Okay. Bubba Wallace's fight for racial equality extends beyond a Black Lives Matter paint scheme at Martinsville Speedway. Wallace, who drives the number 43 car for Richard Petty Motorsports, has been vocal about the need for NASCAR to do away with Confederate flags at racetracks. Oh, come on, dude. It's not about that. It's about heritage. Not the heritage of owning slaves. The heritage of fighting in a war where the regular old everyday foot soldiers were just fighting for their homes, fighting to protect their families. On Wednesday, the organization heeded his words and put out the following statement. The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans. And it's about a rebel spirit. Nobody who flies the flag, 99% of the people that fly the flag, aren't having any thoughts about slavery. Nobody's saying, man, I miss those good old days when we could have slaves. No. It's about a rebel spirit and honoring your Southern ancestors who fought to protect their homes and stuff. Shh, it's okay. The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industry. Bringing people together around a love for racing and the community that it creates is what makes our fans and sports special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties. It will be prohibitado. Prohibitado. Things to watch. La China? This is not political, this is human rights. Oh, it's so political. WNBA champion Natasha Cloud joined La China Robinson on Around the Rim to call upon her fellow athletes to be more vocal in the fight for racial equality. Cloud stressed the duty to use one's platform to be a voice for the voiceless. Why does that have to be a thing? Using your platform. You didn't get a platform with your opinions. You got a platform with your skills and your talents. So that's what you should be doing. And the importance of speaking up in the name of what is right. The Washington Mystics guard lauded her teammate Elena Dawn for her willingness to engage without fear of negative ramifications and encouraged others. It's so stupid when they do this. There are absolutely no negative ramifications right now. The negative ramifications come when you express any kind of more moderate opinion. If you disagree that there is systemic racism, that's where you get the negative ramifications. It's not brave. It is absolutely not brave to speak up and say exactly what the masses are saying and exactly what the masses are telling you to say. That's not brave. Ugh. And encouraged others in and out of the sports world to do the same. Oh, you encourage that, but you're not encouraging people to speak their own opinions. You're encouraging people to speak the accepted opinion. Overheard. Two different styles of leadership. LeBron, very encouraging and bringing everybody along. Kobe, he testing you, seeing what you're going to give him. He going to yell at you. He going to scream at you. He going to cuss. Two different sides. I'm just blessed to see them both. Shh. Jordan Clarkson on the difference between playing with Kobe and LeBron. Okie dokie. Remember when? Today marks the Jordan year anniversary of Michael Jordan's legendary flu game. For the untrained eye, that means it has been 23 years since his airness played through sickness to lead the Bulls to a 90-88 win over the Jazz in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. While The Last Dance revealed that a suspect pizza was actually to blame for MJ's illness, the food poisoning game just doesn't have quite the same ring to it. Until next time, remember, I'm not really into astrology stuff. Narrator, she was, in fact, into astrology stuff. Okay. But it appears that a solid number of professional athletes hail from Gemini season, or more specifically, June 11th. Diana Taurasi, Joe Montana, Maya Moore, and Vince Lombardi all share this birthday. Coincidence? You tell me. This has been your ESPN Daily for Thursday, June 11th, 2020. Thank you, ESPN. You were actually a little bit more moderate with the politics today. I appreciate that. Yahoo Sports, Read and React, brought to you by Yahoo. Yahoo. Trending. Not everyone in the NBA is quite so ready to restart. Why? Do they want more money? NFL looking at cutting preseason to 2 games. 2 games in addition to the Hall of Fame game, though, right? So that would be 3 games for 2 teams. Agent suing Zion is adding to allegations. Arians considering quarantining a quarterback. Roger Federer out for the rest of 2020. The lead. NASCAR lays the Confederate flag to rest. Here we go. I'm not going to read that statement again. I already read it. Morning, friends. Another day, another monumental story of social change. Dude. Today, one of the last battles of the Civil War is winding to its inevitable conclusion. Oh, aren't you clever? NASCAR has banned the Confederate flag from its tracks. This news came as a surprise to literally everyone, either because your stunned Confederate flags were still permitted in 2020, because this isn't land of the free, or because you were shocked NASCAR actually had the guts to drop the hammer. It's not guts. Right now, no, it's not guts. It's the absolute opposite of guts in this atmosphere. Following 2 weeks of protests and a direct plea from the sport's top African-American driver, NASCAR decided to remove the last of... Isn't he the only? NASCAR decided to remove the last of any gray area. No recommendations, no suggestions, just get the flag gone. Because that is liberty. That's how we do liberty. As someone who both loves NASCAR and, according to family lore, descends from Confederate soldiers, I say good. The flag plays into every backward stereotype of NASCAR. So you want to dishonor your ancestors? The soldiers, the everyday soldiers, didn't have slaves. It was the rich people that had the slaves and the rich people that got us into the war, forcing the everyday people who didn't have slaves to fight indirectly for slavery because they were trying to protect their homes and their families. Anyone who's tried to introduce their non-NASCAR friends to the sport in the last quarter century has had to deal with the side-eye that comes every time TV cameras catch sight of a Confederate flag in a track's infield. Oh, brother. You try to explain it away, saying, no, the whole sport isn't like that, knowing all the while that all you're doing is making excuses. This isn't a political issue, except to those who consider racism a political plank. The heritage not hate argument doesn't fly anymore, really. Not when literally millions of people see the flag as a symbol of a bygone era of racist ideology. I wonder why. Because that's all people talk about. Because you're tearing down statues of General Lee. Because everybody that goes to school in America, goes to public school in America, learns what you want them to learn. And that's just that everybody who fought in the Civil War on the South Side was racist. They see it that way because that's how they have been trained to see it. And NASCAR is not infringing on anyone's freedom of speech, their property, their rules. Yes, NASCAR made a business decision that the dollars of the fans still holding on to the Confederate iconography would be offset by the influx of new, more progressive fans and sponsors, but also a moral one. The moral argument. A sport that truly wants to welcome all comers can't be associating, even implicitly, with a symbol that, by its very existence, divides us. Will this line in the sand pay off? Will new fans and sponsors flock to a sport that's more welcoming in deed as well as word? Who knows? It's entirely possible that the segment of the fan base holding on to the flag is as large and powerful as it believes it is, and the sport will suffer. But maybe not. Maybe this move opens up the gates to a whole new generation of NASCAR fans. Fans who wouldn't have come near a track before now. Speed doesn't have color. Of course, at least part of the allure of the flag for many is that it pisses off the establishment so badly. These fans will try to fly it simply because someone told them they can't. That rebellious FU streak is at the heart of NASCAR's origin story. Bootleggers who decided to try racing, and to this day it runs deep in the blood of the NASCAR fan base. That's why enforcement of the ban's going to be a tricky business. What about, say, fans with Confederate flag tattoos? What happens when a good old boy decides to hoist the flag on his RV in an infield? Who's going to make him take it down? That's a challenge for a later date. After decades of trying to please everybody and ending up satisfying no one, NASCAR has decided to take a stand, to coin a phrase. This time, NASCAR is... That was you coining a phrase. This time, NASCAR is aligning itself with the winning side. Uh-huh. I know it's the winning side. That's why it's so sad. Still waiting to hear what Jerry Jones thinks about kneeling. Hopefully we won't. Should Zion or Duke be worried about latest legal filing? Why there will 100% be a baseball season. Don't forget to wash your hands. Green side of the Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. Isn't that nice? Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching Sundry Sports. If anybody is watching, and if you found any value in this video or my commentary whatsoever, please consider subscribing. Goodbye.